All right, as promised, this is going to be a training video on Freedom since we're putting iPads in the EMS trucks we're ordering. I'm running this on my phone, so everything you see is from my personal device. Always you want to start with opening the Freedom app, which it should stay open on the trucks. I don't know if some of you have noticed, but logging in has been a whole lot faster since we got Central Square to come in and fix some issues we were having a while back. I'm signing in as an EMS unit, so it would look more like what y'all were going to see in the EMS trucks. So I got my username, my password, my unit in there. I'm going to log in. And once again, since we got it fixed, it comes up much faster. So Freedom is a little bit different than the MCT interface. What most of y'all are familiar with is the unit status screen. So to the left-hand side, you're going to see the page with a little pencil. Click on unit status, and this is everything that's on the board right now for 911. You can see EMS 6 is en route to an assault call on Tammy Trail. EMS 9 has arrived at a breathing problems call in West Arlington, and EMS 152 is transporting to the hospital with a back pain patient. Once again, just like in your MCT terminals right now, color means everything. So green shows en route, blue is arrived, pink is transport. Since this is for county EMS training purposes, I'm going to click on the EMS 152 call from the unit status screen, and this is what the call looks like. Now, different than the MCT, the map of this call does not automatically pull up, so you don't automatically get a map reference. But you get the nature of the call, back pain, priority is a priority 4, which y'all don't have to worry about. I'm going to scroll down. Location is 3355 Ballard's Crossroads Road. City code, Cross Street 1, Cross Street 2. Then it has the call information, which most people don't worry about. The reference number, the time, event number, report number, caller information, phone number, address, medical dispatch level. And when I get down to the bottom, it shows that the current status of the unit on this call. I'm going to scroll back up. Right in the middle of the screen, it shows notes and radio log. For any notes on this call, you see the EMD information and any notes that anyone has put in here. It's a first-party caller, 58-year-old female, conscious, breathing. She's vomiting, having lower back and abdominal pain. And then it goes into the EMD questions and answers. Radio log, I know most of y'all probably won't worry about this, but this is where the timestamps all are. You can see the auto-arrive, the auto-en-route timestamps. At the very bottom of the screen that stayed there, no matter what I scroll, you have en route, arrive, and exit. So I am unit EM03R. That's my EMS unit login for Freedom. So if I wanted to en route myself to this call right now, I can en route, I can arrive, or I can just exit out the call. The auto arrive and auto route feature is still going to be turned on for these devices, so you can either en route manually through this, you can check en route with communications on the radio, or you can just let the system auto en route. At the top of this screen, on the left, you see the back arrow, which if I click back, of course, I go back out to the unit status screen, but I'm going to go back to the call. In the middle, you have the event number. To the right of that, you have the circle with a little map icon, and that gives you a map reference of the call. And I can pinch my fingers in to zoom out, so you can have a map reference, or I can pinch out to zoom in. Currently, the map I'm looking at doesn't have many layers turned on, but if you go to the top of the screen on the very left and hit the 3 lines, I can bring up my layers, and just for giggles, I'm going to click on Fire Station, because that's what I like to look at, because it gives me a good reference of all the areas, and that's the county with all the different fire districts. If you look to where this little blue arrow is, that's where this device is located at according to the GPS coordinates of the device. And it should be oriented in the position that the phone is facing, similar to the antennas for your MCT and AVL currently. Just like on your MCT now, this map shows all the blips for all the units. Green is in service, available. Blue is on a call. Yellow means they're en route to a call. And red, of course, means out of service. Everybody should be able to see all fire and EMS units now. There is a way, if you don't care about seeing fire units, you can select which groups you want to see, so you can pigeonhole it down to just EMS if you would like. Also at the top of the map, if you were interested, or if you're having a hard time finding an address, or if you have like a wildland type search, you can click on satellite, and of course it brings up the Google map layers. You'll still have your whatever layers turned on top of it, but if you zoom in close enough, those colors and shapes go away eventually. At the bottom of the screen here, we have our little icons. We have the full display at the very left. That zooms back out to the entire map. I can track a unit with the little 3 circles, and that means it tracks your unit. It shows you where you are. The eye icon is an information icon. If you click on a call or a unit, it'll give you information on that call or unit. So if I zoom into this EMS call right here and click on it, it'll give me the information of that call that unit is on. I'm not too worried about your layer or your layer info because that's mainly a feature that telecommunicators use, and they don't even use it that often. It just gives you details on certain layers. I can hit the back button. It's going to go back to the call I was just on, or on the top right hand corner of your device, you see the little circle with the home button. That'll take you back home. From what I've seen used on MCT since we deployed it, mostly everybody stays on this unit status screen. It just shows the current calls that we have out there currently on the board. I feel like that's where most of the devices will stay. You have active calls, which just shows you the active calls instead of all the units on the board. You can do location checks. I can type in an address, and I'll type in 1717 West 5th Street, and it pulls up all the businesses we have built for that address. Event history, if you need to go back and find a call and you just don't feel like calling communications or sending an email or dealing with me, you can sit here and you can punch in the date and time of calls, the times, the unit, fill out as much information you can, and at the very bottom you send it and it'll pull up the information based on what you input. I feel like this is going to be very cut and dry for most people, since most of us have smartphones, iPhones. This is a very familiar interface as far as the touch screen, the pinch to zoom in, pinch to zoom out. The only thing I cannot emulate right now is what happens when you get a call, because I don't have a call I can be dispatched to as EM03, but it's going to do the same thing your MCT does. It's going to make that obnoxious noise until you acknowledge the call or check en route to the call. Just remember that after you check en route to a call or acknowledge the call, if we add notes, if the nature code changes, if the address changes, every time a change is made to call, it's going to alert you again. That's letting you know something has changed with the call. You might need to look at the notes or anything like that. Now, we still tell the telecommunicators to pass on all critical information onto the responders, but it would still be best practice for responders to keep an eye on those notes. Once again, this is a very down and dirty training. I feel like mostly everybody will be much more familiar with this than the laptops and the trucks, because it's a familiar interface. If you have any questions, if you need additional training, please let myself or Todd Osmond know. We'll try to schedule something up. Take this video, pass it on to all your staff, and like I said, if you gain questions, let us know.